Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora, and with me today is Susan Alexander. Welcome back, Susan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. Now, you were here a few weeks ago and we talked about your brother and the legacy he had, but I wanted to have you back because there's more to you than just being Tom's sister. I mean, there's so much more. There's basically, I could do podcast after podcast about you because you are quite the character.
Yeah, I'm a character.
But you have something else. You create delectable, yummy goodness and wonderful treats. And you have a Facebook page called Gammy's Goodies, correct?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, so first, right off the bat, if you are on Facebook, go to Gammy's Goodies. She has amazing recipes of different treats. Now, I want to have you because now we're in the holiday mix in the holiday season. And this is really when people get fat and they eat lots of stuff. And you make amazing that you made me some fudge and it didn't last. Yes, exactly. Santa's fat. There's a reason. But you made some delectable fudge that I ate all within 24 hours of you giving it to me and my family. I made sure they had some, but I ate a majority of it. But so I want to talk to you. What are some of the standard, I guess, delicacy candies and cookies and whatnot that you do this time of year for the holidays?
Okay. Some of my standards are the chocolate chip cookies. The chocolate chip cookies, I use dark chocolate and milk chocolate.
Ooh.
I have gone so far as had the triple chocolate chip cookie with the dark, the milk, and the white.
Oh.
And then I have drizzled milk chocolate and white chocolate over top. That is the chocolate lover's delight. It really is.
I need to get some of that.
Yes. With these, I used the Ghirardelli milk chocolate and the Nestle's dark chocolate. The dark chocolate gives it richness and the milk chocolate gives it sweet. And the two combined makes it simply delectable.
Oh, exactly.
And then I have my fudge. This is probably one of the easiest fudge recipes you will ever come across.
Okay.
I use the Dove chocolates that are wrapped.
Yes.
I use a bag -2 chocolates, the milk chocolate. I unwrap them, put them in the pan, and then I use some Nestle's dark chocolate, some sweetened condensed milk, and a little bit of vanilla. You just melt that all together and stir it until it's melted. It doesn't have to boil or anything, just melt it. Or you can do it in the microwave, but do it slowly in the microwave. After you do that, I get a piece of parchment paper and line my pan, pour that in there and spread it all out and just put it in the refrigerator. And when it's chilled, you take it out and you cut it and you eat it. That's it.
And that's what you gave me the other day.
That's what I gave you the other day.
And
you can also enhance this. Sometimes I will put Heath pieces in here. You know what Heath bar?
Oh yeah.
You can buy the Heath bar bits, just the Heath pieces, and you can put it in the fudge, or you can wait until you dump it out and press it on top and then cool it. You can also make it look very festive. You crush a candy cane and put it on top. I have put Rice Krispies in it. All kinds of things. I have taken bits of caramel and put it in there also, and even mini marshmallows you can put in there. Chocolate, and of course pecans or walnuts, whatever you prefer. Oh yes. Another favorite. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just getting fat listening to you right now.
Well, this is an old-fashioned favorite. This has been around a long time. Potato candy. Again, it is pretty easy to make. You only take probably 2 tablespoons of cooled mashed potatoes.
Really?
And probably 2 cups of granulated sugar. And you just squish it all up. You can put a little vanilla in there. Squish it all up, and on a parchment paper with I'm sorry, powdered sugar. Did I say granulated sugar? I said
Oh,
powdered sugar.
oh, powdered sugar.
Powdered
Okay.
sugar. And then you put it on your parchment paper with the powdered sugar, and then put another piece of paper over top of it and roll it out until it's about a 1/4 inch thick. And then you spread a thin layer of peanut butter on top. And then
Mm.
you roll it up, and then you can either slice it before you put it in the refrigerator, or you can wait until it's cool.
Mhm.
Make sure you use a very sharp knife, because if you don't, it's going to get stuck and get all gooey. And this is divine. It is. My daughter and I, years ago, we won a contest at the Brunswick Community Center in Brunswick, Maryland, for the potato candy.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's very simple. It's
So
very simple. The hardest part is getting it up off of the parchment paper to roll it up.
I have a question
Other
about
than,
the potato candy. So
Mhm.
where is that? Do you know the history or behind that? Like what nationality does that come from? I mean, is it Irish?
I do not know. It could be.
Yeah,
It could be.
because
They're
I know
famous
those
for their
Irish,
potatoes.
they love their potatoes.
Yes, they do. Yes,
I'm
they
just
do. I'll
curious
have to
about that.
check that out. I'll post that on Gammy's Goodies too.
Oh, good. Yeah,
The
I mean that
history of
sounds.
potato candy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now
Mhm.
you have another thing there. I see
Oh
another thing.
yes, this is just heaven.
Yes,
These are cinnamon roasted pecans,
and you gave me
and I
some of
go,
those as well.
yes,
They're all gone.
cinnamon,
They're all gone now.
cinnamon roasted pecans. They are very easy to make. It's just egg whites, granulated sugar, and cinnamon. You beat your egg whites until they're frothy, not stiff.
Mhm.
Then you put your sugar and your cinnamon in, mix that all up, and then just dump the pecans in and stir them all up. And you put them on a pan, a baking sheet, and put them in the oven. I think it's 275. And you stir them like every 15 minutes until they get this crust. It takes about an hour, and they're
Mhm.
done. And they last. I put them in a jar. I'll make more, of course. This is all I have left from what I made.
Mhm.
And I'll be posting that on Gammy's Goodies as well. But there, you can crush these over ice cream.
I
You
should have done that.
can. Oh yes,
I just
they're.
kept eating them.
Oh yes, they're addictive. They're
Yes.
addictive. Some other things that I like to make. It's called Pretzel Bark, and this is extremely addictive. This is a little time consuming, but it is so worth it. Oh yes. You get your little round pretzels,
Mhm.
and you put them on your pan, and you make your caramel out of butter and brown sugar, and you bring that to, you don't boil it, you just cook it until it gets ready to boil. You pour it over the pretzels
All
and
right.
put that in the oven for a little bit. Then it melts and covers all of the pretzels. You take it out, and then you dump chocolate chips on it, whether it be milk chocolate, dark chocolate, or a mixture.
Mhm.
And you bake that for only 5 minutes until the chocolate starts to melt. And then
All
you
right.
take it out and you spread it, and then you dump kosher salt on top. It's the sweet and salty.
Ooh.
And then after it's done, you just break it apart. You can store it in your refrigerator. You can probably make it the first part of December, and it will keep in your refrigerator.
Oh,
It's really,
nice.
really good. That's the first thing people ask for when they come to my house at Christmas time. Where's the pretzel bark?
Oh, I mean, it sounds amazingly good. Now, I
It
have a
is.
question for you about.
Mhm.
So, how did you get into baking? What like have you always
Oh,
been into it, or was this a thing that's been passed down in your family, or?
it's been passed down. My mom baked all the time. She
Mhm.
baked homemade bread. At Christmas time, she would even make root beer.
Really?
And I would stand there and watch her at the sink. She's got this big tub, and you get a concentrated root beer. I think McCormick makes it.
Mhm.
And you pour that into warm water, and you put your sugar, a lot of sugar, a lot of water, and a packet of active dry yeast. This makes it foamy.
Okay.
And you stir that around, and then you put some hot water in there before you put it into your bottles. You put it into, after you've done all of that, you put it into your bottle, and you leave about that much at the top because the
Okay.
yeast is going to work and it's going to build up pressure, and you want that space for that reason. My aunt didn't leave that space one time, and she left. Let me finish the story. After you put it in the bottle, you let it sit in a warm area, 70
All
to
right.
80 degrees for 2 days.
Okay.
Then you can put it in your refrigerator. My aunt did not do this. She did not leave the space. She left it longer in the 70 to 80 degree. She walked past it one day, and one of the bottles exploded and cut her leg.
Oh,
Well, needless to say, she did learn from that experience. So
she
she
made
did it.
a root bomb.
Yes, the root bomb. Yep, and we made that every year, and they made the best root beer floats, homemade root beer floats.
That
It
sounds
was just
that sounds
fabulous.
oh, I'm like getting hungry.
Oh
I
yes.
love root beer floats. I love everything. I've had most of your goodies. That sounds really bad. But
Yes,
I've
I
had
had. Go ahead.
but I've had most of them because I've been to your place before,
Mhm.
and you had them out, and I remember, I think I even had the pretzel bark, and I recall that. And I mean,
Yeah, I had a dessert tasting back in 2012 in October.
all right, that might have been when I was there, I think.
I had like 8 different kinds of cookies on the table. I had bread pudding, I had apple crisp, peach cobbler, I
Mm.
had all kinds of cupcakes. I had cheesecake filled strawberries. It was it was it was delicious.
Oh, that's amazing.
My family hated me because we couldn't plate everything until the last minute, so everybody was sort of rushing around. It was worth it.
Dude,
It was worth it.
so now, why I wanted to ask you about Gammy's goodies, because
Mhm,
like a lot of times people, when they make things like this, they're either like family recipes,
mhm,
or they just don't want people to know because
mhm,
it's a secret, it's mine.
mhm.
But
Sure.
you're sharing your recipes on Facebook.
Yes.
Like, what made you decide that, I want other people to have these recipes, or like what made you so giving?
I like to spread the goodness and the fun,
Mhm.
and there's nothing like food. Nothing else like food that does that.
Yes.
But I have to tell you about my parents. My mother made everything. I told you she made everything.
Yeah.
One of the things that was a tradition at my family's house, mincemeat pies.
Hmm.
That is an acquired taste, and
All right.
everybody's recipe is different.
All right.
My parents made them together. My mother, we always made homemade pie crust. It has to be homemade. It can't be bought. And that you learn by doing it.
Mhm.
You don't say, oh, well, you put this in and that in and you roll it out. There's a special feel to it
Mhm.
when you know it's going to be right and when you know it's going to be flaky. So the mincemeat pies, back
Mhm.
before there were food processors, you cook the pork and the beef, you let it cool, and then you put it in the metal grinder and you would grind it, and it would come out into a bowl.
Mhm.
Then you would peel and cut up your apples and your raisins. Then you would add cinnamon and sugar. And then some people add wine to it. Well, my parents would add whiskey.
Ooh, even
And
better.
it's your preference as to how much whiskey you want, because some of it evaporates anyway,
Mhm.
but the taste is still there. It was always so funny. They did this jokingly. My mother always wanted to add more apples, and my father always wanted to add more whiskey. And every time I make that, I laugh because I think
Mhm.
about that. It was so much fun just listening to them. Now, Viola, I think we should add a little bit more of this whiskey. Well, Floyd, we should add more apples. And it just went back and forth, and they laughed. It was good.
So which do
Very
you add
good.
more? Do you add more
I
whiskey or
like
more
apples.
apples?
I
Okay.
I like apples. I like the apples and the raisins, but I do like the hint of the whiskey in there. And like I said, it's an acquired taste. Not everybody
Mhm.
likes it, and everybody's recipe is different.
Yeah, it's kind of like fruit cake. They're
Yes.
all very different. Like,
Oh,
I've
they
had
made
some.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I've had some very, like, people joke about fruitcake, but I've had some amazing fruitcake, and I've
Yes.
had some horrible fruitcake. And it's
Yes, so am
like,
I. Mhm.
and I guess it's all about how you make it, and like, and like some people, like you said, I think some people add rum to it, and some
Mhm.
people add other spirits to it,
Mhm.
and
And some will wrap it in a rum-soaked cheesecloth to store
oh,
it.
okay. I guess that's a good way to
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
And now, what is going to be? Do you try new recipes to add
Oh,
to your,
yes.
like? What
Oh,
is
yes.
one you're gonna try that you haven't, or what is one you want to try that you have not tried yet that you've
I
been
like to
thinking about?
try different kinds of cakes.
Mhm,
One of the nicest texture German chocolate cakes.
mhm,
It was delicious, and I'm so glad it was big. It was big, and I thought it was like 3 layers, and I'm only used to making a 2 layer, but it was very tall, and it had the icing in between. That was very good. I like to try different pie recipes, and there are also easy pastry recipes that you can use. Pepperidge Farm pastry sheets.
mhm,
Pepperidge Farm pastry sheets. You just cut them. You slice your apples thin and toss them around in cinnamon and sugar. Place the apple slices down each one of those and bake it in the oven. And you've got apple dessert right there. You can drizzle
mhm.
icing on it, or you don't need that. It's wonderful,
Yeah. Now,
wonderful. Eh,
go
Go
on.
ahead.
Oh,
Oh, and another thing, if you like chocolate,
mhm.
I
I do.
saw I forget who it was on TV. They cut the pastry sheets in squares and they put a Milky Way inside and sealed it shut and did a little egg wash and baked it in the oven. And I tried that. Oh, yes, indeed. That is
Ooh,
very good. Yes.
oh, that
Chocolate and pastry. Hmm.
sounds amazing. Now,
Hmm.
I've had chocolate croissants, which are kind of
Yes.
similar, where it was a
Hmm.
croissant and it was toasted croissant, and then they stuck like a I had it with a dark Dove chocolate,
Oh,
and
yes.
that was amazing. And
That
like
would do it.
yeah, oh, it
Hmm.
was really very good. Now
Hmm.
I have to say I do love your Facebook page because I've actually gone on it and seen some of your recipes, and I've tried some of them.
Hmm.
And what I like about it is you, like, baking sometimes can be intimidating, but
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
you make it seem very fun,
Hmm.
and like your recipes, you make them seem very easy to do, that even someone that's never done them can
Hmm.
accomplish, and then come out and have something and be like, I made this. And it's and I think that's a very, especially people accomplishing something like that. Like a lot of times baking and cooking is very intimidating to people, but like the recipes you do are not difficult.
Hmm.
Some, like I said, some are time consuming, but they're not hard to do, and
Hmm.
the outcome is amazing. Though, and people
Hmm.
went, like, they need to go to your page and I guess like it and follow you, because they're gonna get some great recipes, especially this time of year. And then when they have their little holiday parties, they can bring out
Hmm.
these things, and people will think they're amazing little like pastry chefs.
Hmm.
And
One of the easiest, and this is probably the recipe that I get the most compliments on, is my salsa.
okay.
And that can be a Christmas goodie too, because it has red and green in it
Oh well,
also.
yes.
The jalapeno peppers, the tomatoes, the onions. It's very good. A little bit of salt, and I will post that as well. And I do from time to time. There
Mhm.
are some recipes that I refuse to share because I, and maybe one day I will, and that's my ice cream recipes. I do make
Okay.
homemade ice cream.
Yes.
I make vanilla, I make chocolate, I make peach. I do a triple chocolate with a chocolate ice cream, a brownie, and a fudge mixed. Chocolate brownie fudge ice cream. That is the chocolate lover's delight also.
Nice.
Somebody saying, "Oh, can I have your recipe?" Well, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Let's see. Now I'm envisioning your chocolate lovers cookie with the
Hmm.
chocolate lovers ice cream in between, making an ice
Oh,
cream
yes.
sandwich. See
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
I would die happy. And you
Yeah.
could kill me after telling me how you made that, as long as you let me finish it first. And
No problem. No
I'm fine
problem.
with that. But
Hmm.
I do, like I said, like the fact that you do keep some hidden. That's good. That's, it's a
Hmm.
little bit of
Hmm.
mystery.
Yeah.
But Now,
Yeah,
now,
my mother, she used to make a fresh coconut cake at Christmas time. Everything was from scratch. She bought the coconut at the store. She would crack that open and grind it up, and everybody wanted the recipe. But it was something that was up here that, oh, you add a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it was never something she actually measured. It was
because
just
it was all
something that she put together.
created, and it was all in her
Yes,
head.
yes. And my father at one time worked at a bakery, so
Oh,
you had two greats there working together. It
oh
was
wow.
fun to watch.
I
Mhm.
mean, that sounds like, you had the best of both worlds there. Your mother and father both baked,
They were wonderful.
and then you are carrying on the tradition. Now, do your children, do they carry on this tradition? I know you said
My
your
daughter,
daughter. Yes.
oh yes, she is a tremendous cook, and she lives in a house, and she has a little bit of land, and she's into canning and preserving and doing everything she can at home to preserve, so she doesn't have to go out to the store and buy it.
Mhm.
And she does a very good job. She comes up with different recipes also.
Oh,
Very
nice.
good.
Very nice.
Yes.
So, if people want to get some of your recipes, the ones you're
Mhm.
willing to share, it's
Mhm.
Gammy's Goodies, and that's GAMMY, then GOODIES.
Well, it's
Or G
GAMMY apostrophe S
apostrophe S,
GOODIES. Gammy's
DIES,
goodies.
Goodies. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I will have a link to your Facebook page on this so people
Okay.
can go directly. And I'm telling you, if you are out there, you need to go, because I liked your page a while ago, and I still,
Hmm.
and whenever things pop up, I
Right.
love seeing
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
It's
And they're not just my recipes on there.
Mhm.
I get other recipes from different sites that look appealing to me that I think others would enjoy also.
Yeah.
And I've gotten so many compliments, and sometimes I'll put cartoons on there about baking fiascos or something like
Mhm.
that. Somebody made a mistake, and I know I do.
Yeah.
I did the pretzel bark one time, and it turned into a big rock. But you learn from your mistakes.
A pretzel rock.
A pretzel rock.
Yes.
Hmm.
But it was probably still good.
Yeah,
And you
but you have to
broke a
hack
few
away
teeth.
at it. Visit the dentist a few times. Oh, I'm glad you made this.
Yeah. You kept him in business.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I did.
cavities and broken teeth
Hmm.
all at the same
That's
time.
right.
He
Hmm.
made a killing on your guests.
Yes, the rock.
Yes.
Totally different meaning. Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. But I
Another thing,
yes, go
I'm
on.
sorry, I have
I want
one
to
more.
hear
Another
more.
thing I like is it's called Russian tea balls.
Ooh.
And they are dough with pecans or walnuts inside. They're very time consuming to make because you have to roll each one up and bake it. And then when it comes out of the oven, you have to roll it in powdered sugar. They are delicious with tea or
Mhm.
at any time. They are,
They're
and
just
all of this stuff, I wouldn't advise freezing the potato candy or the fudge or
yeah,
or any of the cookies
yeah.
you could freeze.
But yeah, right.
No
I'm
problem.
I'm assuming the fudge is never good once you've frozen it.
Oh no, I doubt that. I've never tried it before, but I wouldn't advise it.
No,
Just eat it. Okay.
I've frozen fudge before by mistake, and
Hmm.
it turned once it defrosted, it was not
Hmm.
very good. I mean, it was okay when it was frozen, but
Probably
then
like a water on top of it, like
yeah, and it
hmm
kind of,
sweat.
and then it wasn't nearly as it didn't the texture was not right any longer.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, so
Mm-mm.
I think once that
Mm-mm.
happens, it destroys it.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
and don't worry, I did not freeze the fudge you gave me because it was all gone.
It was all
Very,
gone, of
very
course.
like I actually had a
Hmm.
piece of the fudge, like you had handed me the fudge, and
Hmm.
I got back in my vehicle and I immediately opened it and I had a piece, yes, as I was driving back to my
Hmm.
family. So
Hmm.
some of it was missing before they even
No
got to
doubt.
see it. Yes.
Hmm.
So
I know. I've had so much chocolate today. It's like I won't need any. I'll have to freeze these cookies before I eat any more.
well, chocolate is therapeutic and it's supposed to be good for you. High in
Hmm.
antioxidant. So you're
Hmm.
healthy.
Good for your anxiety too.
Yeah. Just keep telling yourself it's good for you.
Mhm.
And, yeah,
It's
that's
good
what
for me.
there you go. Yes. The
As I'm
sugar
climbing
high.
up the wall at night trying to stay in bed.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That you can
Mhm.
call a priest and he will take
Yeah.
care of that.
Yes. The exorcist.
Yeah. That's wonderful. But I want to thank you for coming on again because you are
Thank you for having me.
and I'm gonna obviously I'm gonna be bringing you back because
This is
you
fun.
know we're
I love
gonna
to
have
talk.
you. Yes, I know, and I love talking to you. And I think in the spring there's gonna be Easter treats. There's
Oh,
things I'm
yes.
gonna want to know
Okay.
what to have and other things. I
Okay.
might even have to have you back before the new year and tell
Okay.
me what to make for New Year's Eve. I don't know.
Liquor.
Yes, yes. I have to have you back because you have so much. Like I know we've only hit the tip of the iceberg of Susan
Okay.
Alexander.
That's fine.
So yes. But thank you again for coming on. And again.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I like to talk. And I like
know,
to make food.
and I like to eat food and I like to talk. So it's
Good.
perfect. Next time I gotta have your food here, and maybe I shouldn't eat it before I talk to you. That way I can show
Okay.
that I have it, because all I have
Okay.
now are empty plates. And it's like, yes,
Okay.
here, this was the fudge, and it's
Mhm.
gone. But
This was the fudge.
so again, Gammy's Goodies on Facebook. Go like it. I will have links to it so you can go directly there, see the recipes, try to make them, because I'm telling you, you will be surprised at yourself that you can accomplish.
Yes, you
this.
will.
And,
You'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be patting yourself on the back all the time.
and then other
Mhm.
people will be patting you on the back as well as they eat
Mhm.
all your food. And
Yep.
they'll think you're amazing. And you don't even have to say, I got it from Gammy's Goodies. You can say,
Oh no!
I
Don't
just whipped this
tell.
up. I just
Don't
made
tell.
this myself.
No. That's
I
your
felt
secret.
like making fudge today, or
Mhm.
potato candy.
Mhm.
And they will be like, what is potato candy? Just eat it.
Ooh. Oh, I will put the recipe for my peanut butter fudge, which is no cook, no heat, just mix.
Really? Okay.
It's
Well,
good.
I look forward to that. I'm
Yes.
gonna have to try that.
Okay.
I'm all hungry now, and I want to eat like
You're
just a
welcome.
ton of sugar. And so my wife will appreciate the 20 pounds I will gain in the next few days as
You're
I try
welcome.
all these. Yes. Yes. And to all you out there, as always, stay safe and keep searching.
Check out fedoracrt.com today.